Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Anything Liverpool. I'm here tonight, joined by Ant, Drew, and Toby to discuss the latest developments around Liverpool Football Club. Now, international break, but still quite a lot of things to talk about, mainly transfers in the next few months that we're gonna have to take a look at, especially with the news that we've just had coming from France. I think yesterday regarding Ibrahim Konate, or was it today? I don't really know at this point. With the international break, is like you have a holiday and you don't really know what day it is anymore. But yeah, we're gonna get into it a bit later. If you're new around here, obviously make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments as well. We'd love to kind of hear your thoughts on these subjects as well, and make sure if there's anything else you want the panel to talk about, make sure to leave it there in the comments. But before we get into everything else, and how is your evening, mate?
Quiet, very quiet. Just been sitting, chilling, waiting for this. Yeah, not much really to talk about today.
Great to hear. No more loud tenants then around you.
No,
Drew,
no, not today.
Drew, how's your morning? I think.
Yep, still morning. I got to sleep in for like the first time in like 2 weeks, so I got up probably an hour ago, which would have been 10 a.m. So I'm just getting ready. Got the news Kanate's injured. It was like lovely, about time, but still starting my day.
Well, we woke up to great news. So yeah, Toby, morning to you as well.
Actually, afternoon. Drew lives in California. There's and I live in Texas, so there's about like a 2, 3 hour time zone difference. Whatever. But, anyways, it's been a good day so far. Just been chilling, relaxing, watching some college football on the tube. So, ready to talk a little bit about Liverpool football.
Well, best of luck to Alabama, I suppose. If there's any sort of indication to who you support, I think the flag behind you kind of tells them the story. So with what we've kind of or Drew's hinted at already, we have had some news breaks basically broken by Fabrizio Romano, if I recall. Basically, Konate has been sent back to Liverpool from the French national side as he's injured. It hasn't specifically been mentioned, but we suppose that's the case. From what we hear, he left to join the national side while having having some sort of injury, not too serious, but then apparently not enough for him to play. He was obviously on the bench against Azerbaijan, I think they played, and obviously now he's being sent to, well, rather I think allowed to leave back to Liverpool. I think he's probably feeling something, and at this point, the optimist side of me and is telling me that he's felt something. He just wants to come back, make sure he's fine, make sure there's nothing to aggravate before the Man United game on Sunday,
Mhm.
on next Sunday rather. But is there are you a bit more skeptical? Do you think there could be something on there? Because if we have to play Gomez, with what we've seen in the EFL Cup from him this season, I think it won't be, you know, as confident as we were in his abilities. I'd say.
Um, I'm not so much skeptical, but obviously from what I've heard, it's a slight thigh injury, and obviously he just wants to be precautious. He wouldn't be fit in time to play this next game, so he decided to come home. So France, I think, have called up Pavard. I think they've called up in place, so they're not necessarily missing out on man. But for us, I think we've got a few wild card options, like so Szoboszlai. He's been doing well in defence recently, so we could always call on him maybe if we don't really feel like Gomez is fully fit for it. And then possibly play one of our actual right backs in right back. Like so with Connor Bradley, he done well in his game. Like I don't know if you've seen the little dribble that he done into the box and then obviously lost possession, but that was good. Um, but yeah, I'm not skeptical about it. I think I think it is a precaution, and I think he is being very cautious about it and coming on and making sure that he can be fit because obviously it's not this Sunday, it's next Sunday, so there's plenty of time to recover or find out what the actual issue is and see what we can do about it. But yeah, I think we've got a few wild card options there.
Yeah, so as of right now, as we know, after the Leone injury, we now have Van Dijk, Konate, and Gomez is pretty much our only senior center backs available. Obviously, we've had Endo play there a bit last season, Gravenberch as well, though I think it would be, well, Drew, I don't know about you, but for me to kind of have Gravenberch play at center back against Man United, it would already look like I mean, I would look at that lineup and think, Jesus, man, it's only October and already we have to improvise like that. Um, do you Are you confident in Konate being able to play? And if not, if we assume he's not going to play, then who do you think should play there?
I'm not confident Kanate's gonna play, or the injury. I just think it's like whenever there is an injury, Slot has shown that he's like doesn't push the players to play. Like like supposedly Chiesa injury didn't even bring him with the squad. Like Frimpong coming back from injury didn't really get a go in. Like still hasn't really gotten to that starting. And I know that's still like who's our best right back at this point. But I don't think, especially as you said, like in October, like we don't want Gravenberch starting at center back. So let's say Kanate plays at 80%, we're like game plans to get him to 60 minutes or something like that. Like I don't want that to be the game plan, to like try to manage his like fitness. Like I just want him fit. So if he's not fit to play, just keep him in wrapped up like training until he's ready to play again, like at full fitness, because we can't gamble it at this point because Gomez is also injury prone. We have so many injury prone players in that department. So I'd rather just start Gomez. If Gomez is fit and he's 100%, that's what he's there for. Like, trust him. Like, we've seen him in the past come up big. Like, I remember it was like a few years ago. I think it was against Man City where he came in and had one of the best games of his career at Liverpool, if I remember. It was the one where like Salah took the ball. It was a goal kick from Allison. He like took it down, like spun one of the defenders and had a one-on-one with Ederson to score like 1-0 result. Like that game, Gomez was on fire, like just bullying the whole Man City offense. So like that's the kind of moments where it's like, this is what we pay him for. This is what he's here for. If Kanate can't play, I don't want to see Gravenberch at center back. I don't want to see Endo at center back. Like, trust who you have there. He's done it before. Just put Gomez in, and he should be more than capable of handling Manchester United at this point. Not taking Manchester United lightly because they've always shown like they'll give us a draw, when we think we should steamroll them. But every Liverpool player should know the intensity of that match, and you should be 100% if you want to play.
Yeah, I think there's a good point regarding the injury-prone players because we're now at, I think there were question marks already before the season, or before the transfer window closed, rather, when we had 4 playing center backs, one of them being Leone. I think we got a lot of, we were pretty unlucky with that injury, especially with the severity of it. But I think we're gonna have to find different solutions. Toby, as Drew said, I think United at this point, obviously to play United now is not different than playing United 15 years back. But still, it's a derby. I think last season at Anfield, people were saying we're going to smash them 6-7-8. But, in the end, it was just a draw, a 2-2 draw. With them being, I think they also missed a pretty big chance at the end there. So they were a lot better than people expected them to be. And I think in a derby match, you just don't know what type of United you're going to get. We could roll them over and score a bunch of goals like we did in the past few seasons, or we could get like a tougher game, even if it's at Anfield. So one thing that I had thought at some point is if we have center back trouble, one thing that we could always do is basically play Robbo at center back. I think him being a bit more experienced now, I think he'd be able to read the game a bit better. The only thing that I would be worried about in that situation is Van Dijk's also playing at left center back, and Robbo's not going to play at right, being left-footed. So to move Van Dijk just to kind of make room for Robbo there, that's a different conversation, I suppose. But to kind of stay on topic, Konate, we're not specifically or really sure that he's going to end up playing next Sunday. How do you see this? How confident are you in him making it, and who should play there if he is not?
Yeah, so I think when we're looking at this report, it's important to note that it's a minor injury, and keyword minor, right? That the problem with that is it can mean many different things. Like, is it like we need to ask how serious the injury really is. Is this just the team covering up or Kanate covering up to save face, or is it really just a minor injury? And I guess we'll find out during the week next week or during the lead up to the Manchester United game. But I hold faith that it is just a minor injury. I'm just going to take it at surface or yeah surface value. But if Kanate can't go, I agree with Drew. I think Joe Gomez should go, and he's an experienced center back. He's proven time and time again to Liverpool that he is a valuable asset to this team. So Slot needs to trust him. Um, we do have other options like Endo and Gravenberg. I'm gonna put them in that order, but those are just options, right? You don't want to go down that route unless you absolutely need to. So I as far as Kanate starting, I'm gonna just wait for more information to come out because we're just judging it off of a small snippet of news, right? We don't really know how serious it is just yet.
Yeah, yeah, okay. My mouse wasn't decided that it was just not going to press at that point. But yeah, my thought also is if I think I agree with you. I think at this point Gomez should play mainly because, and my main reason for that would be that if we play Gravenberch at center back, then I'm not sure how that midfield would look like, because if you then decide to play a midfield three, who's going to play DM? Who is another player in that side that can play DM by themselves? In a double pivot, different story. If you have two players playing as pivots, right, they can cover for them for each for another. I think at that point they can help themselves. But if we play in a midfield of three, and Gravenberg is not the holding one, then who is? Because I don't think we have another player who can do that by themselves. I mean, even Gravenberg struggles if you were to put him in that position. So, yeah, I think just for that, I wouldn't really get Gravenberch out of the DM position. So, yeah, once again, if you're new around here, make sure to like the video, subscribe, leave your thoughts in the comments. And if we're discussing center backs, and we've had quite a few reports, of course, because that's what always happens when one of our center backs is injured or just doesn't play for some reason. Uh, we've been linked to quite a few center backs. Just today, I think I've seen three different names. Now, one of them being Gay, I think that's a pretty strong link, mainly because we were maybe minutes away from signing him at some point, but obviously it didn't end up happening. Other than that, one other name that has been mentioned is Upamecano, though I'm not really sure, considering that back in the past when we went and bought a Leipzig center back, it was Konate. I'm not really sure we're going to end up going there again. The other name mentioned, though, was Schlotterbeck from Dortmund. Now, we know he's still, I think, injured. He's had basically an ACL. I think he's just kind of coming back into training. So he's not obviously at a level where he's just ready to come in and play. But obviously, until the summer, where most likely we're gonna look at transferring another center back, he could have built up a bit of match fitness. Now, if these three names were your options for next summer, where would you go?
Um, I think judging by how close we were, I think I'd go Gay. One, because he's Premier League climatized, so he knows how it is. He knows how tough it is. He knows how to play it. Two, because he wants to play for us. We don't know what the other two situation is like. We don't know whether they want to join us or what. We just know we're linked to them. And also, he's an all-round well defender. We've seen when we played against them, he wasn't playing he wasn't playing like he wanted to join us. He was playing like he was a Crystal Palace player, and that if that makes sense. that's sort of the player that we want. We want him to, no matter what's said about him or no matter what happens, we want a player to play for us. So I think I think Gay is a good option for us. But yeah,
Yeah, okay, sorry, that one caught me off guard. Jesus. Bottom, I assume that's Drew. So Drew looks like a default manager on Football Manager. Okay, well, I haven't really thought about that, but I guess
that's sorry. I wondered what you were laughing at then. I thought it was something Kai said until I just read that.
Oh, damn. Okay, I'm seeing that now.
oh, all right. So
Yeah, I was sat there and I was
Time out,
like,
time out. Take a time out for a minute.
Jesus, man, what are you doing to me? Okay, I'm all right. Right. So, Drew, it seems like we've been circling back to you, as mentioned. Quite a few reports regarding a few different center backs that Liverpool are linked to once again, of course, because Konate is injured. Gay, I think, is still obviously. I think David Ornstein also said a few weeks back that we are going to go back for him in the summer. I think we're still obviously. It looks like we're still interested and ready to get that deal over the line. Though, in the summer, it looks like Madrid, Bayern, I think as well, were some of the names mentioned that are interested in Gay as well. Schlotterbeck obviously has also been mentioned. I think that's one of my personal favorites, if I may add. But I think at this point, what's happened in the past few months, I think Gay should be the front runner there to play. How do you see things? Do you think we're gonna end up getting to that summer in one piece?
I think the default manager position is you get the best available, and Ant made some good points about Gay. He's Premier League proven, ready to go. He's at the top of his game. Feels ready for that next step. I'd be curious, like, I wouldn't want to wait till summer. Like, I think there was a reason why Gay was going to be the cherry on top of our transfer market, or transfer market dealings last summer, because he was what we need. And it's like, I don't want to be like, especially with Leone out, it's like, are we just going to rely on Gomez and, Konate and Van Dijk for a whole season? Like, that's not a good plan. So then becomes to me like, who is going to be available in January? And Gahey's probably like, I'm really curious to see what Man U do with Amarim in that regards. Like, if they sack Amarim like next transfer window, it's pretty obvious that Glasner is going to be the one who comes into the position, or that seems to be the front running. So if Glasner's gone, then Crystal Palace don't have that block for Gahey moving anymore. Like manager's not there who blocked that transfer reportedly. So I think that transfer would be a lot easier because they would want to get some money in the door versus letting him go on free. I still think we need to do that regardless. Like, we can't wait till summer. I remember there were rumors being like Crystal Palace want like 45 million or something. They want to raise the price or something, but it's like, just pay 30 again. Throw that 30 out there again. Just get the deal done. Get it over the line. Slaughterback looks great. Has all the right stats. Like, was he 26 years old? German international player. Plays for Dortmund. That's a good CV. I think he's been playing lately, so he might have just gotten over that injury. But I don't know, that's why Gahey for me is a special option, because it's like, this is the January transfer window. This is the last chance for Crystal Palace to cash in on him. So, like, why would Slaughterback leave in January? Or Dortmund would let him leave unless we made a significant offer. Same with Upamecano. I don't know his contract scenario, but like that regards. But going back to what Ann said, you want the Premier League proven player. You want the player who's about to take that next step in his career. And we were going for him this summer. So just get it done in January. Let's not wait.
Yeah, well, you've seen Drew doing some scouting there as well, so it looks like it's all happening. Yeah, sorry, I'm literally okay. I think I'm fine now, but Jesus Christ, that one took me took me by surprise. Okay, I think regarding the gay deal, I just don't see us going in and paying something in the in January. Though I agree that it would be great if we could and that it would be needed. I just don't see that being a Liverpool type of deal where they well, we usually do smart business, right? And that kind of means that we know that in a few months the player is going to be able to come in for free. I don't think we're going to spend 15-20 million on him in January. And I think, as you've mentioned, you just don't know. I think with him, there's also the World Cup that's obviously going to be played in the summer, and you and Toby are going to be able to watch a bit more. How should I put it? Like it will be easier for you due to the time frame. What you call it? Like the time difference, it's time zone. Um, so yeah. Um, I don't know. I don't think we're gonna sign anyone in January. I just feel like that's the even though it is needed, I feel like that's how it's going to end up being. I like to be surprised. I was surprised in the summer as well. I didn't expect us to sign Wirtz or Isaac, but yeah. Well, hopefully they're gonna keep surprising me. But honestly, at this point, I don't really see it happening. Toby, um, as we've talked about, I think at this point he is the main target. I think that there's quite a big chance that he's going to end up signing in the summer, probably either really early before the World Cup or just after it. Um, do you think he should be the main target, or do you think that we'll end up going somewhere else?
So I think both Anthony and Drew have hit it on the head with Gahey. They this past summer, yeah, this last summer, he was our main target, and so I don't see a reason why he shouldn't be the main target going forward. I mean, he is a Premier League proven player. They're the reason why we're pursuing him, right? Schlotterbeck is an interesting option. Yes, he's coming off an ACL injury. But I know I was looking at some of the statistics earlier. And what caught my attention was his ability to his long ball passes, and I think something underrated that goes underlooked in this game is the long ball passes from the center backs, right? I mean, we get that with Virgil van Dijk, not so much with Kanate, but that those long ball passes from the back allow us to bypass the midfield and get the ball up the pitch, right? So you could see, but just by looking at those numbers, you can see why there's interest there from for Schlotterbeck. But damn it, my heart's sold on Gahey. You know, he's a Premier League player. Yeah, Premier League proven player. There we go. um, but yeah, he's you watched him against Liverpool this season. He played well, shut down Salah, in my opinion, and I think he is the guy, the number one guy. I think Schlotterbeck and Upacampo. I don't think I pronounced his name correctly, but the Bayern Munich player, I'm just gonna go that route. I think they're just kind of like plan Bs and Cs, considering that we're looking at multiple teams being interested in Gahey. So I think this is Liverpool just dotting their I's, crossing their T's, making sure they have plan B, plan C, just in case if Gahey doesn't come in. Which I want to throw this out there again. I mentioned it last week. They're the reason why I wanted to get Gahey done during the during the transfer window because you know now we have all these teams interested, and not to mention we have Kanate on the last year of his contract, right? And it doesn't look promising, though. We've heard some news regarding what's going on with that. I don't know. I don't trust Real Madrid. I don't trust Kanate. Like I wanted to get that deal done, so we already have that replacement set in stone so we can just let Kanate leave if we so choose, of course.
Yeah, I think with each week, month that passes, I think you look at it and I don't know. It seems like the Konate situation I have a feeling it's going to end up being like what exactly what Trent was. I do think that in the end he'll end up moving. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. Obviously, I think the season has been rather underwhelming from him. I think we've seen a few performances that remind you of what Trent looked like at times last season, and you can kind of link that to Madrid being on his mind. So we'll see. Obviously, if Konate wants to leave, then he'll end up leaving, and that'll be that. I think the most important players for Liverpool are the players that actually want to be here, as the great name was once said. So yeah, but getting to basically the hot topic of the stream, and from a few reports, from what I've seen from Graham Bailey, it looks like Camavinga is getting a bit unsettled at the lack of minutes at Madrid, which would mean that maybe next summer he would be available in the market for the right price, obviously. Um, how would you see that player being available, and do you think Liverpool should be interested in that move?
Um, well, I mean, we've been linked to him quite a few times through I don't know how many transfer windows we've been linked to him. So it's obvious that we'll link to him again when he's unhappy with game time. But if we were to actually go in for him and actually get him, I think he would be a good addition purely because of the skill level that he's got defensively and attacking. So he's not just he can't just be a midfielder. He can be used in multiple positions, just like Soboslai, where we're using him in that right back position. We could use him in that position as well because he is a well-rounded player defensively as well. So yeah, it's like I said, we've been linked to him multiple times. I'm taking it with a pinch of salt of it's another chance for us to be linked with him again. But I, I could see it happening. And I do hope it happens because he's a good player.
Yeah, I think obviously every time you look at Madrid, you can well, when Camavinga is playing, I think you can kind of notice the quality that he has. Drew, I think he's great at pretty much everything. I remember seeing him quite a few times, even in Anfield. I think last season I remember him playing pretty well at Anfield as well, even if obviously they lost that game, which is going to end up happening this season too. Do you think? Looking at the options that we have in midfield, do you think that Camavinga should be a target if available next summer?
Yeah, I think it's if he's available, yeah. Like you always want quality in the squad. You want people to be fighting for positions. Like we already have more games than we did like previous years, just with the new format of the Champions League. Um, that Super League combo could come into play. You want the best of squad possible. Like you want the depth there too. Like when you look at Man City, like even Arsenal have it now. We're trying to build that. It seems like the writing's on the wall for that being the way moving forward is that the top clubs will have these absolutely stacked squads. And he is certainly a player that can fill in for that role. And he could definitely be good enough to take a starting spot. We also don't know what's going to happen with like McAllister. The rumors about him going to Madrid. Like I'm never like unless there's scouts, I don't think you can put I guess Trent ruins that too. But I was gonna say like unless they're like you can't count on a player staying at the club for the rest of their lives. So one of the things I've always said too is that I love buying players that are disgruntled at like top clubs. Like for me, those are the kind of moves. Like when you see like Mesut Ozil when Arsenal got him, like Alexis Sanchez, same kind of thing. It's like these players who are pushing it, like but aren't in that starting 11 for these squads. Like they have something to prove, and if you can get them for a good deal, that's the kind of quality they have quality. Like anyone who's seen him play knows he has quality. And then Ant saying his versatility, where he can play on the pitch, like they were forcing him in at fullback to get him into the squad for a season, like that kind of stuff. Like he's a quality. Like you have to be good to be able to play in that many different positions. Uh, it just seems like a very good business move if it's available at the right price. So I would love to have him in the team.
Yeah, fair enough. Toby, we do seem to have quite a few options in midfield, though. I think Camavinga basically offers what 2-3 different players would at times. I think him also being a lefty, I think that's also an advantage. I think, lefties usually do fairly well at Liverpool. It seems like it's, the political views of the city and also the other lefties that we had at Liverpool in the past. I think they've done quite well. So adding that into the mix, how do you see that? How do you see Camavinga as an option for the Reds next summer?
Yeah, so I would love it if Camavinga could come in and play center back for us. That would be just great, But I like Camavinga. It's been a while since I've last watched him play, but I remember watching him play and think this guy's pretty good. He's a very good defensive midfielder. I do think you mentioned it. I do question the spot in the team. Like, where would he put him? Because we do at this. It's funny because last year we were questioning the depth of the midfield. But this season we have a lot of midfielders, put it that way. So I do question where exactly would we put him. That's like the only thing that's getting in the way. But yes, I would be interested in bringing Camavinga in. He is a quality player. He would add depth to our squad, of course. Yeah, Drew had said it too that it'd be a good business move. This would be the type of FSG move that they would make, right? Just I can't remember the phrase. Just one of those bargain deals, I guess. We'll just go with that. But if the move were to present itself, I can totally see FSG being on it, and hopefully get the deal done. But as far as like where you fit on the team, that is what I'm questioning.
For me, I think I think there's actually two reasons where I'd see a world where we don't go in for him, even if available. I think, first of all, it looks like next summer we're going to go in and get at least one center back. And if Konate leaves, then it probably should be two. And it seems like with what we've spent, obviously we can make the moves. It's not like we don't have the funds. Unlike Arsenal, we also sell players to kind of free up some of that finances. But I think it doesn't look like, at least from what we've seen from Liverpool in the past, I don't think that we'd end up going for him. And also, I think the fact that what you said about not seeing where he fits, that's also kind of a thing that's been on my mind as well. I think when I think of him, obviously such a quality player, I'd love to have him. I just have absolutely no clue where we end up playing him, because even now it looks like we're stacked in midfield. And it looks like last season we had a good thing going with Gravenberch, McAllister, and Soboslai ahead of him. And now we've also added a world-class talent in Florian Wirtz, who is obviously an amazing player, but at the moment it looks like Slot's still trying to tweak things and find the right spot for him, and basically for the rest of the side, because at this point you don't know where you can fit all that talent into a starting 11. So that's the thing that we're going to have to keep an eye on. Once again, if you're new around here, make sure to like the video, leave your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to kind of hear from you, no matter the type of thoughts. I suppose I haven't specifically mentioned football stuff, but I guess that's on me. And we've seen quite a few great performances, I think, in the last few days from some of the international Reds. We've seen Ekitike get an assist for France. We've seen Mo Salah get brace. Cody Gakpo also got a brace, I think, and an assist for the Netherlands. And basically great performances from pretty much everyone else. I think from what we've seen from Frimpong, from Wirtz, I think there were some great I think Wirtz almost got another assist, basically left Voltemade one-on-one, but the Newcastle striker ended up missing. But it is what it is. It looked like we were a bit lackluster in the past few matches. Does that give you a bit more confidence that things are starting to maybe get back on the right track and we'll end up playing United out of the park next Sunday?
It does give me a bit more confidence, yeah, because it shows that it's not it's not something that we need to worry about as much as what we are. With them players, how well they're doing, because they are fine. They have got their feet there. They are doing well. It's just I assume, obviously, we keep going back to it, and it really is a downer, but it could just be because of certain events that have happened. Like, so obviously with Jota and that, as much as I don't like mentioning it, I think that when they're playing in our kit, it puts that back in the head that that's happened. Whereas they're putting on the international kit, it's like that's not on their mind. Maybe it is, I don't know. But I think after this, we could potentially look a bit more confident. One thing I did see, obviously because I didn't watch much of it, but one little clip that I did see was Isaac. I don't know if you've seen it with Bergval, where he laid him up. That I don't know how he didn't just tap that in, but obviously we don't look at him, we look at Isaac. He looked a lot more confident as well, and obviously the fitness. He's another one that we can look forward to, obviously finding his feet with us. Um, it's just a case of, will they do it in the next game, and if so, how well will they do it? And that's what we're going to look forward to against Man United.
I think for me, Drew, one thing that kind of makes me think is that usually we haven't really had the best of comebacks after international breaks. I think in the past few seasons, it's it's taken a while for us to kind of get used to playing again, I suppose. And that's kind of, I have that thing in the back of my mind as well, where before the international break, we weren't playing great. We obviously had like 3 defeats in a row, and now we come in on the back of an international break where we traditionally don't do well. Come in basically in the first game, come from those. So does that kind of play a part? Do you think? Do you think you know? Obviously, with them being playing for them their international sides, do you think that's also different in the sense that they're maybe away from the pressure of that they have to face at Liverpool? Or how do you see this?
I think it's a good bit of fresh air, kind of like what Ann said, where they get a chance to like go to their international team, different vibe, different atmosphere, and just a reminder like these are good players. As much as online Twitter sphere can like harp on players when they have a poor spell. It's like they're all internationals. They're all like top level athletes and very good at what they do. And Liverpool players tend to do well on international break. I feel like that's like the ongoing narrative that our players do well with their international teams. But that being said, it is a separate um, like compartment or component. It's not Liverpool. It's like coming back into the squad. We're going to set up, man, you could just do a low block and like they have to deal with that. It's like going on international teams. It's not like they're facing low blocks or facing the same kind of opposition. So I think they're like, it's very important for Slot to get a hold on this. Like we have a ton of new players, like still trying to get to know each other, like get in those syncs. And also just like Slot picking his strongest team. Like I'm pretty sure like no one like I've said this before, but like previous seasons, like you knew who the starting 11 was going to be. Now it's question marks. It's like, do we start Verts? Do we start Ekatike? Do we start Isak? Do we start who's at right back? Still question marks on Kirkes finding his feet. Like all those kind of questions. Like we're in October now, and we still don't know the answers. So for me, that's the most important thing. Is like for Slot to get a hold of that dressing room and like get his thumb on like the tactics for how to address each game. Like we know he has it in him, but these players need to feel at home. Like that's what it is. Like I feel like they need to get worn in, like get those shoes worn in the Liverpool dressing room and just trust each other. Like that will come with time, but it needs to happen sooner. And I actually think that the Man United game is the perfect like opportunity to really gel as a team. Like it's at home after we've had those 3 losses, like away losses. Like back at Anfield, the crowd's going to be up for it. We all know that. And I think if the leaders of the team, the Salahs, the Van Dijks, no, Allison's injured, but Robertson, like those players, if they can get like this as a team building moment, this could be a really good coming off of the international break way to change the narrative.
Yeah, I think you make a good point regarding Anfield. I think one thing that I haven't mentioned is that all the 3 defeats were basically away from home. It's going to be the first game at Anfield in quite some time now. So yeah, and especially being United, I think we should be rocking. I think the stadium will definitely be rocking. So hopefully that shows in the players' attitude as well. Toby, so as mentioned, United after the international break and with some of the performances that we've seen, I've just taken a look now. Soboslai and Kerkez have also played 90 minutes tonight. Fortunately, in the earlier games, so I think everyone's kind of played a lot of minutes, but the performances seem to have been quite good from the majority of them. So, as I would think, when you're playing well, you just tend to keep on playing well. I think that you build confidence, and I think you end up being a lot more confident when stepping on the pitch. So, how confident are you then? I think I've said confident like 3 times in 30 seconds, but how do you feel about that United game, given the performances that we've had from the international players this week?
Yeah, so it's always encouraging to see your players go out on international break, and I'm gonna keep a footnote on that, but like I'm encouraged by it for sure. But international play is different from league play, so and especially since like we're playing against Man United and this is a derby game, there's gonna be something different about this game. Drew mentioned it. These derby games are different. These are something different. This team know you better than most teams in the Premier League. They just know. Sorry, I'm getting thrown off. But yeah, these derby games are different, and so I would like to translate into this game, but also I need to acknowledge that international play is a little bit different than league play. So I would like to see it, and hopefully it does. But let's take into consideration that this is league play, but it's also not just league play, but also Man United, a derby game. Your rivals that they just know you, and it's just a different type of game.
To be honest, I think from last season we did end up winning the league, but now I think Anfield is owed a victory against Man United from what happened last season. I think they obviously at the game I remember seeing Carragher and Neville on Sky right before the game where one was basically throwing the snow onto the pitch, the one throwing it back off from it. So yeah, United ended up showing up for that game. So I think now, given the situation, given the context, I think we really need to win that game, because if we come back and we don't win it, I think there's just the pressure is going to keep on increasing. And I think at this point, you just kind of have to get a win. And this is quite the occasion for it. And with that in mind, this is where we are going to end tonight's live stream. Thanks a lot to everyone who's been watching. Thanks a lot to Ant, Drew, Toby for being here tonight. Obviously, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're going to keep on streaming through the next few days as well, and obviously in the build up for that Man United game and right after it, of course. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell icon so you can be notified of when we are going live, and that's about it.